Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? It is Friday, September 18th, and I hope you have a wonderful day. This is, of course, your daily financial news. And before we get into the news of the day, I got an announcement and a quick question. First, on the announcement, I haven't decided whether I'm going to do an hour Q&A session tomorrow at 8 a.m. Saturday. I think we've done one the last 8 to 10 weeks. So what I thought I would do is put out a challenge on this daily financial news, and it's really quite simple. If we get 125 thumbs up between now and say 9 p.m., let me write this down, 125, 9 p.m. I got to write down these action items, right? I will do tomorrow's 8 a.m. question and answer session. Again, 125 thumbs up. We are currently at 1. So we'll see what happens. And again, if we exceed 125, I will be up. We're ready for you at 8 a.m. If we are not at 125 by, say, 9 o'clock at night, you cannot count on one. So let's put it there. And then a second, I have a question for you. I will give my answer, my opinion at the end of this video, but I'm curious where you all sit. So it's kind of a two-part question. One, do you think we have a stimulus bill approved by the end of September? Totally approved. Senate, House, President, sign, seal, and deliver. They're moving it through. If you say yes, do you think it's above or below $1.5 trillion? I think it's fair to say that there's a set of individuals that want it to be above that. There's a set of individuals that want it to be below that. So the question again is, do you think we have a stimulus bill approved by the end of September, roughly 2 weeks away, roughly? And if we do, is it above or below 1.5? And again, I will share my thoughts at the very end of this video, but I'd be curious what yours are. Feel free to hit pause if you are not watching this live and leave a comment. I'm just going to see what people think. So first and foremost, a lot of news today. I'll just go in the order that I read them. First and foremost, looks like our biggest banks are going to go through some stress tests. If you don't recall, there were some stress tests done, God, it feels like 3 months ago, maybe 4, where most got out of it okay. Wells Fargo being the one that was like, ooh, you got to slash your dividend, right? You have to conserve cash. We're not sure that you have enough reserves of bad debt, all of these things. So the fact that they're doing another stress test 4 months later, that's not a good thing, right? They are usually yearly, usually not this public. They actually put out the criteria. There's a couple, right, where unemployment goes up, where housing and stock markets are hit. So I expect lending to get harder, lenders to pull back. I expect, I actually expect, this is what I really expect. I expect probably more than half of the banks' dividends to be cut and a few, probably Wells, but we'll see, a few to be eliminated. There's a tremendous pile of commercial backed debt, oil and gas debt that was lent out at what now looks like foolish values. And we've already seen people hand back keys to hotels. We are going to see that in greater numbers. We are going to see that we're seeing oil and gas companies just stop. That debt goes poof. We could see it in offices. Rent collections, as Jonathan and I talked about yesterday, and if you haven't checked out the interview with Jonathan Twombly, I suggested it was yesterday. We talk about all kinds of things like we normally do. And of course, there is a Jonathan Twombly playlist. If you really like what he has to go through it, there's a playlist. We talk every Thursday around 8. I think yesterday was at 7. So realize that that's there for your disposal. But yeah, I think the fact that the stress tests are coming this soon, not good. Lending's going to get tighter. Reserves are going to go up. I really think dividends are going to be slashed, if not cut to zero, which will impact our financial stocks and generally not be good. So that's the first piece of good news. Not good news. Next up, I don't know if you saw this, but New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, he is looking to pass the first bill aimed at raising taxes, and he's calling it the Millionaire Tax. So basically, if you live in the great state of New Jersey, you happen to have a W-2 that's over $1 million, you can look for your taxes to go up. They are proposed to go up from roughly 9% to almost 11%. This is, expected again in his thoughts to raise almost $390 million. There is a second half to this. Looks like he wants to give out rebates. So $500 to families that make less than $150,000. So kind of the idea, the proposal, millionaire tax, take from the millionaires and give to the middle class. That is what is his name? Phil Murphy says. Again, as we have talked about New York, California, any tax that is on the most affluent, the most financially mobile is risky. For example, if you live in New Jersey and you happen to be one of these individuals, what is stopping you from going to Connecticut or Florida or any other state to sort of get away from this? Is 2% enough to force you to do that, right? I don't know. But you can look for many millionaire taxes at the state level very soon. New Jersey is just the first. There will be more. Frankly, San Francisco, inside of California, is looking at one. California is looking at one. So again, these are coming. I did think it was interesting that Phil raised on the millionaires with the intention of giving $500 back to families, what he called the middle class. So we shall see. He did see that about 800,000 people could receive the rebate. So that's significant. So we'll see what happens there. Next up, one of the things that I am looking at is, if you've been watching me for any length of time, you know that I generally lean positive on 2021. It might be middle of the year. I'm hoping it's early. I'm hoping it's by March, but maybe it's the middle of the year. I just believe in our system, right? I do freely point out that there's tons of horrific pain to be felt in the next 3 to 4 months, which is very unfortunate. What happens? But where you're going to see the first signs of the turnaround, in my opinion, is commodities. Because I think what you will see coming out of this, as countries go negative, like we saw yesterday, Bank of England is looking at going negative. Germany is already there. Japan is already there, and on and on and on and on, is we are going to see countries go to the other side. They are going to borrow even more money and invest it in infrastructure. Some of this is going to be your mom and dad's infrastructure, meaning roads and bridges and things of that nature, which is commodity based. My hope is some of it is telecommunications and other things to really help foster this economy that we hope is very different in the next decade. But I think you're going to see it in things like iron ore, right? Really the base metal of steel and cement. We're already seeing little ticks of this in lumber. I've talked about a couple of times. I think it's up 180%. Most of that rise is supply chain. Some of the fires out in Oregon affecting Weyerhaeuser, which is a big forest management / lumber creator. Some of the lumber from Canada, tariffs and things of that nature. I think lumber is kind of an outlier, as it was really supply chain issue. But a 2x4 used to be $2, now is $8 or $6. That's pretty significant, and quite frankly, why multifamily probably slowed down last month, as we reported yesterday. Multifamily starts were down, single family up, multifamily down. So we're gonna have to watch that again. I'll be looking for iron ore and things of that nature kind of the middle of next year to see if we really are turning around, because I think it will be worldwide. We could see trillions of dollars in infrastructure, and that will just suck up base commodities. Next up, looks like the forbearance numbers are getting incrementally better. There was a drop of 26,000 in the government-backed programs. This is a big month because, as I understand the program, they're basically in 90-day increments. The last big adjustment was June, which makes the next big adjustment September, which we are in. So we're going to find out in October how September was, right? Did a lot of people exit the program and now are paying their mortgages again? Cool. Or did many of them ask for another extension, and that's bad? So October numbers are going to be interesting because it will be on September. But again, I think incrementally better. Unemployment is better. I do think there are some cities like Vegas that are, man, in real trouble. So we'll see what's going on there. Got to talk about TikTok. It is all over the news, my news channel, my news feeds. It's going to be banned, blah, blah, blah. I call me suspect. I believe this is a classic negotiation ploy. I believe, just given what I've read, and good news is I'll know by Sunday if I'm right or wrong. My guess is the president, because this is, I understand it, sitting on his desk to decide. I believe he wants to create an aura, aura? I don't know. He wants to create a climate where TikTok could be gone, right? Or not in the US after Sunday. My guess is late Saturday, possibly early as Sunday morning, he comes out and says, okay, Oracle and Walmart do this, go IPO that, and lo and behold, he is the savior of TikTok. That's what I think is going to happen. Again, we are in an election. There are plenty of voters over 18 that are, frankly, addicted to TikTok. So right now, they are probably reading the headlines and very upset. My suspicion, again, I think it's a chess move, is he wants to create that on purpose so that he can be the hero Saturday or Sunday. And then that voting block, again, over 18 addicted, could see him as the savior and maybe get some points. I don't know. It is an election. I've seen crazier things happen. So we will see what's there. Something I am watching is the infection numbers in Europe are beyond concerning. I think especially Spain, Barcelona, right? They went into severe lockdown kind of right before New York in our experience, if you remember. It happens, right? People, God, I hate it too. It's not fun, but kind of under lockdown. And now their numbers are rising rapidly. So I'm watching them because, again, just given our history, go back to February and March, Europe was kind of first, and then it came our direction. I think we need to be at least cognizant to what's going on there, because we may have a spike, a second wave, whatever you want to call it, coming. So pretty interesting. So back to my question at the very beginning. Do I think a stimulus bill gets done in September? And if yes, how much above or below 1.5 trillion? So this feels uneasy to say, but I believe the powers that be are going to get a deal done. I think there's enough real evidence that shows the economy is slipping dangerously down. You have all of Powell's information, which we heard about on Wednesday. I'm sure he is feeding that to Congress and the president. I think you have real signs in the rental market that the lack of unemployment benefits and the stimulus is meaning people are choosing not to pay rent at greater numbers, right? I think it was 86% have paid rent by the 13th, which is a full point and a half below. And more importantly, you can clearly see the negative trend. So if nothing happens, you can expect October below September, November below October. And if nothing is done, more and more landlords will be at that kind of, you can't come back from 80%. If you have 80% of your portfolio paying rent, you're not covering debt service. You're probably not doing repairs. You're making some really painful decisions. So I'm gonna think that happens. I think that's gonna happen. So do I think so yes, I think a bill gets done, and then above or below 1.5 trillion. Um, that's the number that I think happens. So I'm going to call it 1.5 even. That's the number, the headline number we're going to see. So we shall see. But again, if I had to pick above or below, I'll take below. I'll go below 1.5. I believe there's only one red line in the sand, as they say in negotiations, and that is the Republicans will not bail out the states. So that $900 billion, roughly 1 trillion, I do not expect that to be in this bill that's approved. But I do expect unemployment, PPP, testing, hospitals, schools, maybe some credits for tuition. I expect it to be pretty beefy and really be focused on the people. And then there was a question that just came up, probably from a new viewer, asking about how long I've been watching the markets. 20 years. And go back and watch some of the videos. I was a very successful day trader once upon a time, turning 7,000 into 200 grand, and then unfortunately losing most of that. So the person that responded, I don't know if you guys could see it, but he says he's been a day trader for 4 years. So congratulations, 4 years day trading means you're doing something. So I wish you nothing but the best. I'm not actually even sure what the market's doing now. But have a great day, everyone. I got a couple of interviews lined up, one at 8, one at 9. First-time guests, so we'll see what they have to say. Have a wonderful day. And again, remember, what did I say? 125 thumbs up. And if you do that, we will do an hour of questions and answers Saturday at 8 a.m. And, we shall see what happens. All right, everybody. Take care. Bye.